How is the Pac-12 looking?
I think their best chance is USC, which is kind of crazy because it has the brand. But like, I don't think you want Oregon to be in the conversation. I don't think you want UCLA to play Oregon again, because then you'd still be like, well, they lost to the team that beat it. The best outcome is USC running the table again and then playing Oregon and beating Oregon by 3 touchdowns in a Pac-12 championship game. Then they could say, we beat the team that Georgia beat. We're a 1-loss Power 5 champ. We're in. I think that's the best, clearest path for the Pac-12.
Especially if the Irish beat Clemson. That would be a huge help.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the Trojans beat the Irish.
A lot of this hinges around the Irish. There's so many.
They always find a way.
I love this little trio. I know that somebody's going to lose, but it's just, I was breaking it down today, and it's the quality loss trio. Oregon's losses to Georgia, UCLA's losses to Oregon, USC's losses to Utah. They're all 1-loss teams. None of them are bad losses. It's hard to stack up a ton of quality wins. Oregon obviously has the one against UCLA. UCLA has the one against Utah. USC is missing that quality win right now. It'll have a chance against UCLA. It'll have a chance in the Pac-12 title game. But name brands, USC, if the offense is high flying, then it'll catch a lot of eye test love for sure.
Going back,
do you know whose resume looks worse and worse?
Who?
Texas. Right? Like, their biggest win is West Virginia. Okay, like they smoked Oklahoma without Gabriel and a bunch of guys. They had a close loss to Bama. I mean, they lost on the road at
good losses, right?
I guess.
And the fact that they lost without Quinn Ewers, I guess, but his shine's kind of worn off.
When I was stacking up Texas's wins, UTSA was uncomfortably high on the list of like rank the wins.
Yeah, they're not a top 25 team.
Just going back to USC for a moment, though, because Bud, like you were saying earlier in the show, they're just making it up as they go along to justify what they're doing. The only reason Oregon State is ranked is because they needed a reason to put USC number 9. Because that is USC's only win, not just its best win, it is its only win against a team with a winning record.
Yep.
No. I'm pushing back on that, because if to put together a list of 25 teams entirely from the human element at this point in the season, Oregon State makes the list for consideration.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let me pose this question to you, Chip. What has USC done to deserve being ranked ahead of UCLA? They have the same record. USC, they have a common opponent, one which UCLA beat and USC lost to. And UCLA has other wins against better teams with better records, including Washington. What has USC done to deserve to be ranked ahead of UCLA besides being USC? Go.
Let's see. USC and UCLA. Because they're 3 spots apart.
Yeah. UCLA should be ranked ahead of LSU and USC.
UCLA's strength of schedule is slightly worse than USC's. And I think UCLA can thank Bowling Green for that.
Bowling Green's 4-4.
And Colorado and Stanford.
South Alabama's kind of good, right? That win's looking better.
Sunbelt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just their records added together. That's how they calculate strength of schedule.
Bowling Green's 4-4. Meanwhile, SC's beaten Rice, the same Stanford team you're knocking UCLA for, Fresno State, Arizona State, Wazoo, and Arizona.
I've got UCLA.
Tell me how that schedule's better than UCLA's.
I've got UCLA strength of schedule 64, USC strength of schedule 59.
Look, I mean, if you want to just, I think there's an easy out for the committee here. It's that USC lost on the last second, 2-point conversion, and UCLA lost by multiple touchdowns at Oregon.
To the team that they have 8th.
Right. As opposed to the team you have 14th.
So UCLA lost to a team that they consider better than USC and beat a team that USC lost to. So that means they're worse. This is amazing logic.
I agree with you that UCLA is a better team than USC. I think they're not favored right now in the look aheads. I think by that game, UCLA will be a favorite over USC. They're a better football team. But I don't think it's as egregious as you do, which kind of makes the show fun. If we all agreed, it would be pretty boring. And we don't really plan this stuff ahead of time. So it is kind of fun to see what disagreements come up. To the Oregon State point, they do have a 3-touchdown road win at Boise, right? Or was that at Oregon State?
Oregon State
it was at Oregon
Fresno.
State.
They won. The Fresno game was on the road. Boise was at home.
A much different Boise State team than the one we see now, though.
That's fair. I mean, you're providing
That's
great
totally
context,
fair.
but this is a
The
team.
committee's not going to think about that.
Yeah, and like
God
60,
forbid.
63 AP voters all seem to have Oregon State sniffing around top 25 status. You know, I don't think it's egregious for them to pluck Oregon State, a 6-2 Oregon State, out of the ether and be like, there we'll go. Like at some point, it is not as intentional as it is subliminal or subconscious that they're like, why did we think this team was higher? Well, because we also think that this is a quality win. And so therefore, when you're getting to the end of the rankings, after you've stacked all these up, then those teams end up finding their way into the back end of the rankings. It's almost like the decisions they've made at the top end up paying off at the bottom, not necessarily as intentional. I swear, I do not think they're as smart as you guys do. They are not thinking about it that hard. They've got so many things to do.
You don't think they just make this stuff up for TV ratings for 7 weeks?
No.
Like they don't follow any of their own precedents from week to week. It's entirely a fake TV product, in my opinion. Like we get on here and argue about it because it's our job, but like I don't put any credence in this stuff at all because they literally give different rationale week to week, and they contradict what they said the week prior. It's never consistent because it's fake, in my opinion. Like I totally think all this is total nonsense, and like I get paid to be on here, and like I love arguing with you guys, the data points. These first 7 weeks before the final one, complete made up for TV, in my opinion. I don't buy a minute of it.
By that logic, wouldn't the final one be made up too?
No, I actually do think they try to get the best 4 teams in that.